Hi, my name is Lauren, and we are entering our third day of snow and ice here in Atlanta, Georgia. That's right, you heard that right. It's been snowy and icy, and we haven't been able to leave the house for 3 days. So I decided today I'm going to issue myself a challenge. I'm going to see what kind of delicious and creative recipes I can come up with using Kraft's brand new Philadelphia cooking cream, using the only ingredients that I can find in my kitchen and pantry right this moment. So come with me and let's see what I can come up with. I'll see you in a second. Alright, so the next challenge of the day, I decided that this Kraft Philadelphia cooking cream would lend itself beautifully to making some apple and cream cheese danishes. Now, what I've got here are 4 large apples that I have peeled and diced, and they've been sauteing in butter for just a couple of minutes. I'm going to add to that 2 teaspoons of cornstarch dissolved in half a cup of water. That'll thicken up the apples quite a bit. Now I chose apples because that's what I have on hand. You could always make this an even easier recipe by using canned apple pie filling, canned cherry pie filling. Cherries and cream would go really great. There's always peaches and cream, or you could even go with a little bit of chocolate and cream. So I'm adding in my cornstarch and water, some brown sugar to sweeten up my apples, and some cinnamon. And this will bring to a boil and cook for about 3 minutes till it's nice and soft. Now what I love about the Kraft Philadelphia cooking cream is there are so many different things you can do, especially with this original. You can come out and turn it into a dip, you can turn it into part of a sauce, you can flavor it, you could add like a little bit of mint and some cucumber and you'd have a nice quick tzatziki sauce. You can do a little bit of everything, but since I love baking and I've got about a saber tooth size sweet tooth, that the first thing I think of is something sweet. And what makes this easier is I've got refrigerated pie dough here. I've got my Kraft Philadelphia cooking cream, and I'll have my nice sauteed cinnamon apples that will go in there as well in just a few minutes. So while those are cooking up, I've got my refrigerated pie dough I've put out here. I've rolled it out into somewhat of a rectangle. That's the great thing about home cooking. It doesn't really need to be perfect. So I'm going to cut this into probably about 4 sections. It depends on how big you're going to want your danishes. Let's see, we'll cut this one more time. And on the bottom of each of these, I'm going to spread a little bit of my Kraft Philadelphia cooking cream. That'll be a great contrast to the sweetness of the apples. You've got a little bit of tartness from the cooking cream. And once my apples are done cooking, I'm going to transfer them to another pot so that they'll cool quicker, stick them in the fridge, and let them cool down for about 10 or 20 minutes before I start filling my apples and cream cheese danishes. Alright, our apples are all nice and soft and sauteed. And they smell so great. And the brown sugar and the cinnamon. Oh, I can't wait to taste this. So pour this into a container. Let it cool down for a little bit because I don't want to stick it hot onto my danishes. And we'll come back, put our danishes in the oven. See you in a minute. So our apple mixture is all cooled down. I'll show you how to put together our turnovers. I've got a little bit of our Kraft Philadelphia cooking cream in the bottom. I'm going to add in some of my apples. There we go. I've got 1 egg beaten with just a little bit of water. It's a nice egg wash, is a good binder. So we can put this all together. There we go. Time to form our little packets. You can always use cookie cutters and make cute little shapes out of these. You can just leave them nice and rectangular or square like I have. And use a fork and you'll close everything off. Close off all the edges to make sure none of this yummy, ooey gooey filling, the cream cheese and the apples, comes out. Got this transferred to a baking sheet. There we go. I'll put a couple of slits in it for a little bit of venting. And one more layer of egg wash on top. And I decided to take these danishes one step further, make them that much more yummy. I'm going to add on top a little bit of brown sugar and cinnamon mixture. Now with all the sweetness from the apples, you're not going to need to worry about sweetening up the cream cheese, but if you're a super sweet person, you can always add just a little bit of sugar to your cream cheese to make it just a little bit stronger. There we go, we got all our egg wash done. And I've got my oven preheated to about 450 degrees. I'll sprinkle on a little bit of my cinnamon and brown sugar. Can't have an apple Danish without a little bit of cinnamon. Definitely the brown sugar is not going to go over poorly either. Get this sprinkled on. And it'll go in the oven for probably about 12 to 15 minutes or so. But you want to keep an eye on it just to make sure that your pie crust doesn't overcook. Now one more. I'll get this into the oven. Alright, so that'll cook till they're nice and warm, but you know what? I'm one step ahead of you. I've got some here that are ready to go. Don't those look delightful? Oh, the crust is nice and brown, and oh, you can see the cream cheese and the apple. Gotta love the way that the sweetness of the apple is played off by the tartness of the cream cheese. So I hope you like this idea. Be sure that you take it and you can run with it in any direction you want. You can let your imagination run wild. You can use pre-made pie doughs, or not pie doughs, I'm sorry. Pre-made apple fillings, cherry fillings, peach fillings. You can use chopped pecans and chocolate and cream cheese. Those would all be great additions to this kind of Danish. So for now, I think I'm going to have to go and enjoy the rest of my Danish. Bye!